Alright, hey everybody, how's it going? This is Alias. All the people that have subscribed, everybody who's watching who hasn't, which you should, hello. Today, we're going to be making a talking synth like what you'd hear in most electronic music today. Kind of cliche, but at the same time, it's good to know how to make something like this. So, if you want to follow along, first thing we need is a combinator. Alright, now we have the combinator. We're going to name it Tasty Talking Synth. Alright, Tasty Talking Synth. Now, we're going to create a line mixer, 6x2. You don't really need it, but if you want to go back and add things later, very useful. Next thing we need to create is a Thor polysonic synth. The godfather of all synths for Alias. Basically everything I make is with Thor. Fun fact. So we're going to open it up. First thing we need is to go to the first oscillator and make that a wavetable. We're going to take this drop-down box here and select raising sine, as this is the integral part of the synth. We're going to take the position. We're going to want to move that position around the middle. Just around, depends on your taste. You could even connect it to automation later if you want and mess with that, make your song sound even cooler. But first, we need to get the basics down. So, next thing we need is an analog oscillator. We're going to set that to a square wave. We're going to bring that pulse width all the way to the middle. Actually, you want 63 or 64. You can actually hit shift on your keyboard to make it make the knob more finely tunable, so you can get 63, which is halfway. Alright, so now what we need is to take the octave all the way up. You're going to want to sync them. Then take the AM from oscillator 2, bring that all the way up. Alright, so now that we have that, we have those all set up, we got to go to our filter, make sure that's all the way open, good. Make sure it's a 24 type 2. We're going to want to go to our amp envelope, turn the sustain all the way up. Now, that's all set. We want to go to our chorus, just to widen up the sound. Bring the rate all the way down. Then you're going to want to take the dry wet to about here, about 32. Then the amount should a little bit less, maybe like 26. Looks good. Alright. I just like to get that out of the way. You can do that at the beginning and it doesn't really matter as long as the synth sounds good at the end. Alright. The next thing we need to do is take our LFO and route that to modulate oscillator 1's pitch. We're going to want to take the amount a little bit past half, maybe like 56 if you want to go a little higher depending on what you like for a sound. It's up to you. The synth right now sounds like this. So as you can see, if you want to move this amount, it'll change like this. Another thing you should probably take into consideration is this LFO. Probably want to make sure the rate is tempo synced, and it's also synced with the key. So that way when you hit the synth, you trigger the LFO, so it's not all over the place. And the tempo sync is to just sync that yai thing to the tempo of the song, so you can have a half beat. I would probably bring it to around 3/16. Depends on what you want. You can glitch it up. And now that we have Thor all set and out of the way, the next thing we want to do is right-click on the line mixer, and we're going to want to add an equalizer. I like to always add my equalizers before my compressors. I think it makes the sound a little bit cleaner. It's just something I like to do. So, the next thing we need to do is hit tab on the keyboard. We're going to do a little bit of wiring. We're going to unplug the send and returns that they're currently defaulted to plugging into. We're going to unplug this master output, right? From here, we're going to route this master out to the audio input of the equalizer, and take the audio output and bring it up to from devices on the combinator. Alright, now that we have that, all we really need to do to this is I would just boost the mids up a little bit, bring this up to about 2.3K, maybe even 2.5 or 6, and I would only raise it by a few decibels. 4 is probably good. Depends on your song's EQ to begin with. And we're going to take that Q and open it up, just so it really fills out the sound. Now that we have that, we're going to create an M-class compressor. I'm going to take that input gain all the way up, just so it has a nice punchy quality to it. We're going to take the attack all the way down, just to accentuate that quick punch when you hit the key. In case you want to glitch it up, it'll sound nicer that way. Most people would stop here, but there's this one last thing to get that punch that I'm talking about in case you want to stutter the synth. What you can do is create a digital vocoder, right? Instead of having it set on vocoder, you can bring it to Equalizer. It's a little secret. You just take this shift, listen to the difference it makes, ready? You hear that start to click a little bit more when you hit it, so you can be like... This is what it sounds like to end. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video, learned a couple things about synthesizer programming, and can apply these techniques into your own song and make a kick-ass track. Till then, Alias out.
Alias, drop the bass.